all three of these at the same time. However, what the channel refers to is one of these three lanes. So if you think of these like a bowling lane, I guess, the channel 1 is what's controlled by this pump. So we have the sample loop, which I mentioned earlier, and its sizing is indicated on the little plastic tag. The sample loop connects ports 1 and 4. You want to make sure that those are connected tightly or it will leak, because the pump puts pressure on the fluid to inject it through the system. So this first lane is set up to run the nitrate, but really that's NOx that's not getting reduced, and so we'll determine actual nitrate by subtraction. We'll get into that more later. However, the important thing to note on the NOx lane is that we have the on and off for the cadmium column. So when we rotate this fitting to on, that means that the liquid traveling in this system passes through the cadmium column so that the nitrate can be reduced to nitrate. However, when we are making the measurement for the nitrate itself, we would want the cadmium column off. We don't need any reduction to happen because we're simply trying to measure the already existing nitrite that is there. However, when we're measuring nitrate, or rather NOx to be correct, we want to have the cadmium column on. However, we only want it on after we don't see any bubbles in the tubing, which is why we'll pump reagents first until we have lines that are cleared from air. Because the cadmium, if air goes into the cadmium column, then it will react with it and oxidize it, and the cadmium column itself will lose its power to reduce the nitrate to nitrate. So we want to be careful to only have this on when we're sure there are no bubbles in the line, and we also want to be sure to only have this on when we're trying to measure nitrate, which we will then get at that number by subtraction, by subtracting how much nitrate was that we knew to be there. So, long story short, this is the cadmium in its off position. We will want to keep it in the off position. You will also want to keep it in an off position when you're not actively running samples or standards that you are concerned with. The second channel, which also has its own pump, would be for running nitrite. So here we would want to measure whatever is in nitrate or nitrate. The NOx sample will be running through here, but will not be getting reduced. And so in this way, anything that's in the form of nitrate is not being measured. It's passing by undetected, and anything that is in the form of nitrate is getting measured at 520 nanometers. So what that means is later we can take this information and, let's say in the previous NOx run where we measured nitrate and nitrite together with the cadmium column on, let's say we got a value of 10 micromolar, and so that means when we took what nitrite was there, as well as combining that with nitrate that was reduced to nitrite, and we made it one full measurement, that, let's say that was 10 micromolar, we can later find out which portion of that was from nitrate alone, because when we have the data from this line, which is nitrite alone, and let's say that turned out to be 5 micromolar, then we would subtract the 5 micromolar from our original 10, and we would know that the other 5 micromolar of what was detected came from the nitrate. So I know that's a little backwards of thinking, but I'm happy to walk through that with you as many times as you want until it makes sense. And that is our way of getting at the numbers we want, even though we cannot directly measure nitrate.